But all they saw was the cities and the giants. And I love the last verse in chapter 13, where they say, next to them we felt like grasshoppers. And that's what they thought too. Who am I? What can I do? What can I achieve? Who am I? Sometimes you get the odd person that's very narcissistic and thinks they can, you have to watch X Factor, don't you, and stuff like that, where they think they're the next Britney Spears or whatever. But most people, to be honest, realise in their hearts that they're a nobody. What can they do? I can't do things. I couldn't do that. I remember many years ago, Kathy and me, we were in part of the church that we belonged to, and I began to feel God calling me to go into ministry and to preach. Never preached in my life, but this thing was beginning to happen in my heart and my mind. And we was in this big church that we belonged to, and the minister was up there preaching. And he's preaching, and this little voice comes into my head. One day, Glenn, you're going to be doing that. One day, Glenn, you're going to be doing that. And in my head, this battle starts. And I'm arguing with this voice, which I know was the voice of God. And I'm arguing with this voice, and I'm saying, no way can I do that. No way, I'm not clever enough. I'm not wise enough. I don't know the Bible enough. I don't know this. I can't do that. I'm not confident. There's no way I can do that. And this battle's going on in my head. I'm not holy enough. I don't walk around with, if you wear Jesus sandals, I love you, but I don't walk around in Jesus sandals and a big Bible. I can't do that, God. And I'm arguing with God about what I can and can't do. Do you know what? If God says you can do something, believe me, you can. But I'm arguing with God why I can't do this thing. And my dear wife is standing next to me there, and Kathy will vouch for this. As I'm having this fight with God, she taps me on the shoulder and she says, Glenn, I really feel God is saying to me that one day you're going to be doing that. I tell you, men, God can use your wife. Honour her and respect her. Seriously. And so, there I was, arguing with God. Who was I to know? Years later, here we would be. Here we would be. Amazed at what God has done. When I look at this building here, when Kathy and me came to Hastings, it was literally an overhead projector and 2 little boys. That's all we had. We had no money. In fact, the church we left took up an offering. I think we had enough money to buy a sound system. We had no money to hire anywhere. We had nothing. And yet God had given us this dream. Someone once said to us, as we shared our vision and what we felt God was saying, what makes you think you can go in Hastings and start a church? What have you got that you can give the people? That's what a pastor said that to us. And all we could reply is, well, we've got Jesus. We've got Jesus. That's the one thing we do have, is we have Jesus. Dream big, think big, act big. You'll be amazed at what God can do in your life. You'll be amazed. You may have failed once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 times in your life, more. Maybe you've tried things and it's gone wrong, and you've been left with mud on your face. And you thought, actually, I feel this is for someone. You have felt in your heart, I will never ever do that again. I will never do that again. I'll never put myself in that position again. And yet the call of God has never gone away. He continues to serenade you and call you to step into that big thing that He has for your life. And out of hurt and out of pain, out of rejection, you said, I'm never going to do that. I tried once and I failed. Never going to put myself in that. I remember many years ago as a young Christian, I had a prophetic word. And Kathy will remember this as well, I hope. I had this prophetic word in this church, in this prayer meeting. And I was all enthusiastic, God had shown me something. And I shared this prophetic word of what I believe God was saying to me. And I said, well, I think God's given me a picture and a word. And I was all excited. And I shared this word in front of probably 50 or 60 people with a pastor there. And they didn't receive it. And the pastor went, yes, well, I don't know about that, Glenn. Do you know what? I walked away and I said in my heart, I will never, ever do that again. I will never, ever embarrass myself. I will never, ever speak a prophetic word like that again. Because I thought I'd got it wrong. I was beaten down. And I know they didn't mean it in their heart, but I did. I felt beaten down. I felt I got it wrong. I've got it wrong. And yet years later, God would give me words and I'd see those words change people's lives.